Hello and welcome to this Warno 1v1 game played on Cliff Duel between Zsadok playing 17Y, which recently got a big buff. He's going up against Azimutovic, playing as 303 Czech, which did not recently get a big buff. So, let's see the deck reviews. Okay, so these are the deck reviews. First we've got Zsadok playing 17Y, and I wish I could be more useful in this situation, but yeah, I've played the Division a bit. It's gone through some interesting changes. Basically, the idea is you conga line tanks down a road, try and break through. If you do, fill it with reservists and ATGMs, and then you conga line down the next road, and the next road, and the next road. So there's a couple things that can be done to enhance your conga line abilities. You don't get any infantry ATGMs though, which is so you basically fill it with Reservisti once you take the place. And yeah, this being a 15-point transport, it's a very nice, cost-effective combination. This, especially given that it can be upvetted. Reservisti LPO. Don't have a strong opinion on. I get the impression it's crap, but maybe it's not because you can upvet it, right? And like regular Saperi might be better, but and they're the same price, and they're not reservist, and they can come in a BTR 70. But we'll see how these perform, right? Because I've not actually tried them, but my suspicion is that regular Saperi is better because it costs the same amount. Res Saperi, because the whole point is that, you know, these units are in close quarters combat against enemy infantry. And so the reservist trait doesn't really help them, specifically for satchels, because you got to run right up to them. This, of course, has a little bit more range, but I still feel like it will just get suppressed straight away and become useless. But maybe if you keep it with these military police squads, you'll be okay. And yeah, I used to bring one of them in the Mi-8 rocket, but it just makes it ridiculously expensive. So that's because you actually want to buy all these because this is a really nice squad. It's got, you know, it's 11 dudes, right? Military police, RPO, and RPG. Like, that is a nice squad. So having it in the Mi-8 rocket, I think, was losing me some games. RT, the thing is, right, so the whole point is that you're like a momentum div. You're supposed to be rushing the enemy down, rushing the enemy down. And so buying two Malkas is usually not conducive to that, because you instead want to buy a bunch of tanks and rush people down. Interesting on the tanks, we'll get back to that. So people like the tulips, because you can buy... So even though it's not very good, right, for a 240mm howitzer, it should really have a higher HE value, right? The 203, I mean, it's a mortar. The whole point is that the mortar has a bigger explosive thing, because it doesn't go as far, right? And it's a larger caliber, but it has, like, almost half the HE of the 203. But you can buy two of them for 220 points, so you don't lose that much momentum, right? And then, yeah, 5 kilometer range, 82mm packed BS mortar, of course, for the smoke and so on. Allegedly, this can fire smoke now. So you might want to try it out. You might want to try it out. 3 cards of supply you don't really need, I think, because it's going to be, you know, conga line in tanks. Everybody's going to die. So, you know, it doesn't really matter. So I'd get rid of one of these. Gives you 2 more AP. So you could try this out if you want. And then onto the tanks. Yeah, these are really nice. But this is now an incredible tank because it's now 17 heat instead of 17 kinetic, which means it one-shots BMP once at 10 rate of fire. Like, it's actually just a beast of a tank now. So you actually just want as many of these as you can get at 2 vet, and you just spam these out. This thing, it's a nice idea, but you can't... It's about the momentum. You lose the momentum by buying this. So the top 17Y players, at least, you know, I don't see them bringing this. I see him bringing the tulips, and I see him buying the tanks. I don't see him bringing this. It's too expensive. It's like an AVRE, but it's also a howitzer, so it costs loads because, you know, it's got that multi-role capacity. In a 10v10, it probably makes sense to have 6 of these and, you know, do stuff, but in a 1v1, you want that momentum, and you want more T64Rs. The T10M, yeah, you can have a card of that if you want. And then, yeah, this has more pen than this one. It is really slow, but so is this one. So, the missile is slow. So yeah, you want as many T64Rs as possible now. That's the way to play it, not with the T10M spam. And in terms of like the CVs, yeah, you always want a CV tank with them. You could even put this in instead of one of these, so that you've just always got, because it's cheap, right? So you could do that. The basically the mass T64 AK, that was the old meta, right? It's basically what Integer told me to do one time ages ago, which is where I think you've got the idea from. But since then, the T64R has become heat, and now it's all about that, and always having CVs with that, so it can be 3-vet, and just because you just get so many of them, right? It's crazy. And then, yeah, you can start down-vetting these if you want. I've got the bug. I always get the bug. We don't know what causes it. We don't know how to get rid of it. Uh, yeah. Like, this is a nice unit, because it's 8 dudes. You can bring this if you want for the rockets, and have 6 rockets, but the idea is you are momentum gaming, and so you probably want this for the very good optics. Like, you get, obviously, yeah, you get this, it goes with the tanks, but you want one of these as well, most likely, just so that your tanks always have something with them. Um, yeah, this transference radar, you want that. I would probably, at the very least, I'd bring this in the BMP 1P, because the whole point is you're playing a ground game. I mean, you can do this if you want, and you can have the helos, but I feel like it doesn't. This will synergize better with what you're trying to accomplish. But it can be nice to just shit out 6 helos, and given that you've got none here, I suppose it can make sense. But yeah, when I see Skate play 17Y, he brings these for the opener, so he can cover a large amount of ground and not have to worry about helicopters and stuff, but I'm not sure how he fits that in, because that's a 3-point slot. So, that's a 1-pointer. Interesting. So, yeah, like I said, I'm of limited utility here. I haven't played it since it became OP, since the T64s became ridiculous, so... Yeah, AA, anti-infantry, anti-vehicle. Um, yeah, I think what some people do is they bring multiple cards of OSAs and they upvet them, because the whole point is these conga lines are going in, and you want something in your conga line. That's anti-helo. That, like, so even like one of these, but then you would have to lose the manpad. Basically, the old way of playing it, or at least the way I used to play it, I used to lose a lot when I played it, so maybe it wasn't right, was this kind of static, by the markers, grind it out. But now it's all about these flying columns, and so you need to, like, so as much as I love manpads, I'd probably get rid of that and replace it with this at 1-vet, because this is, this goes with your column, and it can shoot down the helis, and it's fast, and it can go with the column. Admittedly, the column is tracked, 75, so you could bring a Shilker instead with the OSAs, right, because they're going to try and cluster bomb the column. But yeah, something like this is very useful as well, because, it gets there fast, it can shoot the helos, it can run out ahead and shoot the helos and stuff, it carries lots of ammo. This is a bit slower, right, a bit more expensive, a bit less available. Helis, yeah, I suppose you've got all your helos here, right? And then, yes, lots of fighters to keep the dream alive. This thing is crap. Bring the rocket. This is really good. You really want to bring this. You really want to bring this. And you probably want lots of fighters. Like, so this is also anti-helo. So you don't need the anti-helo, because for 10 points more, you get this, which is also anti-helo. Admittedly, this is better at it. So you could swap this out for the other fighter. Because this is more anti-plane, this is more anti-healer, so you could swap this out for the other one, and then, yeah, if you find somebody you can't deal with, you drop the bombers on them, and the rocket plane can snipe infantry units and so on, which you'll spot with your recon helos. So yeah, the idea is flying columns, but obviously that's presumably not what we're going to see in this game, because of how he's built it the old way, the so-called old way. His opponent is playing 303 Czech, which I've been asked to play as part of the Tier 4 channel memberships. I haven't got to it yet. So, once again, limited utility. Napalm plane, no. Bring this thing. Incredible rocket plane. No side missile things. And yeah, the reload time goes up a lot if you fire all the rockets at people. But it's very good at hurting people. That's the more anti-helo one. That's the slightly more anti-plane one. Alternatively, you could bring this, but because it's like 125 points. And the idea is that this would go ahead of the cluster, right? And the cluster would, this would take the hit, and the cluster would survive, right? So you can do it that way if you want. But yeah, I wouldn't be bringing the napalm. I appreciate that it's got regular bombs on it as well, but I mean, why wouldn't you bring this one? Which also, so instead of, like, they're the same price, which is ridiculous. And napalm sucks in this game, so instead of 500 kilos napalm, you would get, you know, times two, so it's a ton, right, metric ton. You would get 1,000 kilos bomb, which is just way better. So at the very least, swap this out for that, right? But yeah, try this if this isn't working for you. But I feel like against soft targets, that's going to definitely kill an infantry squad. Like you could even try this one. But yeah, I mean, this is also pretty good against tanks, so try it that way, and then, you know, this goes out ahead of this one. Because this is your cluster one. It's the one from 6Y before they changed it. It's just this is the Czech version and it's in Dorito red. CVs, so five CVs. It's not a lot of CVs. This is nice rocket helo. What? What am I looking at here? This is why you don't have any infantry, because you keep buying these. So, yeah. There you go. You probably want 5 of these. Because the whole point is it's 21 rate of fire against ground targets. That's what it's used for. It shoots at a plane, okay, right? It's not really what it's for. Yeah. What? Yeah, you could get this for the good optics, good stealth, right? Or you could get this for the exceptional optics to go with your trash spam, which you're clearly very addicted to. So if you want to conga line these down roads, you'd want some optics with it. So that would probably be this, right? This has good optics. This has exceptional optics. This has good optics. So you might want to bring this. It's not honestly how I would play the division, but given my lack of experience, right? Maybe I'm not the best to judge. This is literally just 3 guys. And, you know, I feel like this would probably be a bit more useful, because it's not reservist and so on. But that's 60 points, so this is 35, so that's nice cheap recon, I suppose. Really not sure about this at all. And, like, the utility of upvetting it for 5% accuracy. Wouldn't you rather get the one that has... I suppose the gun's worse, but... I mean, whatever. I don't have the experience on this division, really. That's some sort of World War II half-track thing, so it's nice and slow. This is what's going to get there first, right? So you probably want these guys at 1 vet, because this is your recon deployment, so you don't lose too much ground, right? And you want them in a fast truck, fast-ish truck. I don't rate this division much, really. I think it's kind of crap, but... And then you're going to buy all this in a 1v1. This thing is actually a really nice piece of kit. The VDV gets something similar. It's actually pretty decent. So, you know, maybe swap out one of your 10 million cards of... I suppose you want this one. I can't help you here. You've decided to play a dumb deck. So, you know, there's limits to my capacity to help. But at least we can get you some Zanisti, which are really nice satchels. And then hopefully you bring the... Well, it's like a 13-man squad with the Taurus nice. Like the whole point of the division. Is it not this division that gets it? Oh, it gets 1 card and it's there. Okay, 16 guys. Yeah, that's obviously... At least you brought that. Streltsy are decent. Zelensky's... I tried using this. I didn't think it was very good, really. So, yeah, you do you if you don't want to bring it. And then, yeah, some MMG teams. No infantry ATGMs. It's just not a good div. Only 5 CVs. Like, do you really need all this? Like, I understand that's the point of the division, but like, these are not very good. Uh, so the idea is you conga line down a road. I mean, it really is something. Let's just watch the game. I'm sure it'll be an education for all of us. Right, so with that out of the way, this is a bizarre matchup. I've never seen it before. I only know of like one top player who played 303 Czech, and he recently did a copyright DMCA takedown notice on my channel, so, you know, I haven't had an opportunity to ask him about it. I don't think this div's very good. This div's really good now because they made the T64Rs heat, and he brings exactly 0 of those. So I don't think he knows that that's happened. This was played on the current patch, so yeah, he's just playing it wrong, basically. So that's going to be a very interesting game. Looking at the deployments, I wish I could give you some more insight. I've never seen this matchup before. Keep in mind that the number of matchups in the game in 1v1 is the number of divisions squared. So I think there's 59 at the moment, which means there's 3,481 matchups. So yes, unsurprisingly, there's at least one I haven't seen. So this is an education for everybody. Looking at the deployments, we got Azimut here, and he's just going to be conga lining a bunch of crap down every road. So we got some inf and recon T-34. And then behind that we got some... he's put a lot here. It's just... yeah, some more units I barely understand. Right, Mayukas. This thing's very nice anti-infantry, although it's only one... oh, it's double. It's a double one, so it's 20% accuracy. Yeah, it's probably quite good against infantry. Then in mid, we've got more 3-man reservist militia squads, and some more. This is such a weird div. It's definitely a meme div. Like, you don't see anybody play it, which makes me assume it's crap. But I don't know. Maybe it's not. Yes, more recon T-34s, backed up by T-54Bs, which are the heat ones, so they're not very good, unlike the T-64R heat, which is 17, so it one-shots a 3-armor vehicle. 10 rounds a minute. Couple more Yukas. Then we've got more Prus, and then yeah, some MMG teams. This is the best part of this division. 16 guys with it's a recoilless rifle that shoots at infantry and vehicles, and a regular RPG. It is a very nice squad. Unfortunately, it costs a metric ton, so that's a problem. And then, yeah, some Prus LMs. Switching to their opponent, we got Zsadok here, and he's doing the Recon Heli opener. And then BRM-1K on the right with a Estrella, a Falanger. This thing's like a COCOM BRDM2, but the Falanger goes really slowly, so it's that one off the helicopter. The CV for Anna Boris. So yeah, on the left, just one helo, and then 2 AA guns. Is that cover? Interesting. There are trees there, maybe it is cover. He's not given this, so once you drop it off, so you need to hold shift, Y, click, and then, you know, right click, a regular right click, not an attack move right click. Otherwise it will stay on the ground. And it's usually not what you want, because the enemy might just RPG it when it's on the ground, which they can't do when it's flying, even a centimetre above the ground. So, Reservist 30mm grenade launcher, which these guys don't get. I assume this is just going to be a very straightforward game, but like, you'd assume it would be, because his tanks are kind of designed to kill cheap crap, but he doesn't bring the right tank, because... so, if you... like, the T-34s all have 3 armor. Oh, no they don't. Okay, never mind. We don't see any of the SD-100s. Got 6 armor. Interesting. I'm not sure what the interaction is there, then. And then, yeah, some KGB, some tanks, some Reservisti. So, yeah, it's a very strange matchup. I wish I could give you more of a detailed insight, but I've never seen this happen before, so let's find out together. Right, so they're off, and it's time for me to thank the generous channel joiners. Generously joining the channel, they get the names on the screen, they get the videos early, they get members exclusive videos. One join at the lowest levels with 2,000 views if you're feeling bad about your ad block. It's a great way to support the channel. Otherwise, please just like the videos, it's free. So, yeah, you could also wishlist my game on Steam, Hearst Hero. Great way to support the channel for free. It's got a free demo. It's at 80% positive reviews, and it's got 10 reviews. And the two negative reviews, one of them just says, I don't like this game, and doesn't explain why. And the other one compares me to some game which I've never seen before, and says it's much worse than that. So, yes, you're about to see what happens if you don't give it the move order afterwards. Okay, gave it the move order. So, there is friendly fire here. It's not 100%, but it does exist, so... you see it lost a HP there. Admittedly, the other guys lost 3 HP each, so it's not 100%, but it does happen. So, he could have moved out of the building, but then he wouldn't have the cover bonus from the guy shooting at him. So, swings and roundabouts, as they say. Yeah, the stadium came this way and it didn't do so well. There's a big blob of crap here and not much to stop it. This will one-shot any of those vehicles. Obviously can't shoot at the infantry. But there's a lot of vehicles and the missiles are not very fast. So they got the same speed as the Maryuka, right? Roughly. And there it goes, because it wasn't actually in cover. Admittedly, you know, this has good optics, so maybe it would have been spotted anyway, but it wasn't actually in cover there. See, it's not in the trees. So, going well for Zsadok in the town, but over here, not so great. What's he going to buy? He's going to buy 2 T10Ms. Put them in the wrong place. But yeah, honestly, he's built the deck wrong. Since the T64R change, it's all about spamming 2-vet T64Rs with a CV next to them for 3-vet. It does not change the fire rate, because it's auto-loaded, but it buffs the accuracies, and it makes the stress resistant, right, and they've got nice armor, so... And the CVs are cheap, like 125 points, and you just sort of conga line into people, right? So this is a big problem, and he's not actually doing anything about it. He's just doubling down over here and giving up on Anna, which, you know, that can happen. It's a strategy, right? Because if you take... This is a +1, this is a +1, so if you take Ivan, that's fine. And these are the middle zones, so if you own 2 of those, then you're winning. And if you own 1 back zone and the enemy owns 1 back zone, then you're still winning. So it can make sense what he's doing here. This was on attack move. I don't know how many times I have to point this out. So as soon as it left the range, this starts moving again, and then it loses the tracking. Whereas if you just press stop, right, then, I mean, that just hit, right? So if you just press stop, then when it leaves the range, a radar one will keep going for 2 seconds. So it would have kept going over here, and it might have hit him. It, you know, chances are it would have missed 30%, but hey, it hit on the second one, so... Who knows, who knows? So yeah, you get some screening forces out here just to stop him from getting over here, right? Because if he takes a +1, okay, but if he comes in over this side, then that's a bit more of an issue. And so, yeah, the T-64s are getting in. It's got lots of these rocket planes. The Zelenskys are going to be very hard to kill. This thing is super good against infantry, though, because it's got double KPVT, and one of them has twice the accuracy because it's like the coaxial one or something. The KPVTs are really, really, really good. In terms of cost efficiency, they're just way better than autocannons. In terms of cost efficiency. And so if you've got one that has more than twice the accuracy, then... So MiG-23 beats MiG-21, not particularly surprising. This is not being put next to its supply, so it's not going to do anything. And yeah, the 1 CV strat slowly working out here. Zsadok's going to be on a +3. Although this will put him down to a +1, right? It'll even out once this fully caps, but then once this takes this, he'll be back on a +1. And yeah, they're very slow, right? So there's a case to be made for just having a tank. Got stunned. Thing still hit. Yeah, you could swing this over, right? Actually use these for something. Send the empty one first to scout, and then the two behind it could kill this. And basically what Zsadok wants to do now, what he should want to do, is to push right from here into here. He's got the infantry, he's got loads of Reservisti and the KGB guys. And yeah, it looks like that's sort of what he's trying to do. So you set up here, and then you push right, sort this out, get to here, and then they can't, you know, the reinforcements struggle, right? And then, you know, you sort of backfill and make sure you've taken this. Then you come and take this. Right? And if you do that, then they can't reinforce Anna. And then you take Anna. Admittedly, in the meantime, your enemy's going to be hitting you here, so you have to keep reinforcing. The Jester, because at 1 vet, are good. But no vet, they kind of suck. And the other thing is, obviously, if you see him, you should survive, but I think he reacted a little bit too late there, so he'll probably lose one. Yeah. So, keeping a fighter up at all times for the AA, because he doesn't actually have any ground-based AA here. He's not bought any Ursas, so it's sensible to keep the fighter up. Got to watch out, though, that the Krug range is very large, so didn't have a chance to shoot there. But if it had shot, because it's not moving, would have kept tracking. So hopefully we get to see that. So you can believe me. This has smoke. And the other thing is, you know, when he's this far out, you can buy a bomber and you can start hitting these because the Krug's back here, right? And this hasn't been shot by anything, so you know you're safe. But yeah, he's just getting side shot loads. Like, these aren't very fast, so... But killing a, you know, 75-point unit is important. So, cluster thing comes in. This is just the one off 6Y before it got nerfed. So, it's kind of weird that they only nerfed one of them and not the other two, because there's an East German one, which is the one in the Soviet div for some reason. Then there's a Soviet one, which is in 2Y. And then there's the Czech one, which is in 303 Czech. Yeah, it is what it is. So yeah, I guess he is trying to push this way, kind of. Sort of. I mean, obviously you'd want the KGB guys with the RPOs, right? One of these and one of the other ones with some Reservisti, because the whole point is these are military police. These are reservist. Military police removes reservist. There's also a new trait called Instructor, which removes reservist and buffs you up a rank of vet. So it's a lot better than military police. But it's a lot less common. And, yeah, I mean, they've got to say... Well, this actually has more accuracy because he's upvetted it. There you go, they both hit. Wow. So yeah, using this to scout so that these can actually shoot. And still not seen the RPO KGB. These are the, you know, sort of longer range KGB because they've got the DMR. The other guys have the RPO, which is better for forest fights. But yes, this... I mean, what is going on there? Classic 303 check, that. So Zsadok's still on the +1, but the game will end in 45 minutes on a +1. There's only 30 minutes left, so honestly, don't be so frightened by being on a -1 tick. I've lost loads of games where I was on a +1 tick for like 30 minutes, and then I lose in the last 10. Because that's my style, tends to be the more kind of aggressive early game style, so lost loads of games like that. You just gotta not panic, stick to the plan. Admittedly, this div does not scale at all, because you just, you know, you end up buying this rubbish. T-64Rs would eat these for breakfast. I appreciate that they have a lot more armor than I initially envisaged. Right, 6 and 7 armor. 6, 7 armor. Wow, can't wait to read those comments. So, yeah, the T-64R would actually do more damage there and would fire faster. Admittedly, it costs more. But yeah, now that it's heat, it's actually really good. Yeah, you gotta watch out here because the enemy owns this part, so I appreciate it's a very good cluster bombing run. You'll probably get a lot of kills there. It's good. But you don't just fling it from your spawn because the enemy, like, admittedly, this Krug should be up here. As should this one, because then they'd hit you as soon as you come out, but you want to be coming over this side and then swinging your way around to mid so that you're not in the massive enemy AA range. The enemy, of course, should have his AA moved up. But yeah, this is basically how you play the div. You just conga line a bunch of crap everywhere. And admittedly, you want to do it in places where the enemy isn't, right? So these should all be coming down this way, instead of just attacking where the enemy's strongest. I appreciate you have to defend your territory, but it's mainly done with infantry, and not big conga lines of stuff. So this mortar goes 5 kilometers. Oh, it's not actually the one I thought it was, in the deck review. So, yeah, needs an OSA, really. Needs to buy an OSA at some point. Preferably 2 OSAs. Closer you get to the enemy air spawn, the more that's going to happen, basically. And yeah, you can have a fighter up, but the Krug should be engaging that. So yeah, T64Rs, that's how you play this div. Admittedly, he's finding some success here, right? Yeah, the thing with 303 Czech is, yeah, you make a little blob, SD100s, T34s, Zelenskys, whatever, Zsadok in there, some AA, whatever, and then you send it down this way, and then the next minute you send one down this way, right, and they like, go here and then back up this way, right, or down here, and then, you know, you just keep doing that, one a minute, one a minute, one a minute. But look, every time he got shot by the Zsadok there, and he got evac'd before he could drop his bombs, and that's because he's just sending it from spawn. He needs to send it over here first, and then drag it in, otherwise the AA is going to engage him. Because of where it is. Well, I mean, admittedly, these are in terrible positions, but at least this is actually over that flight path now. So, yeah, these have mediocre stealth, so they're good on the defense, but you want them in the forest and stuff, like, it is working. But yeah, I mean, Zsadok is just attacking in the wrong place. He should be attacking over here. Now, admittedly, it's like, well, you can see there's nothing there. Yes, but the whole point is this is where the enemy spawn is. And it's nice big open ground, right, with lots of flanking opportunities, lots of places to put ATGMs. And whereas this is just, you know, you're already here. He has to reinforce down this road to get to here. So you can see everything coming in, and you just move up this way, get guys in this forest. You can't bring anybody in, and then you take the rest of the zone. But I don't know, he's just not really learnt his lesson. He just keeps right-clicking over here, and I appreciate these are missing, but sooner or later they're going to stop doing that. You see, it follows it out the range because it's stationary. But it doesn't keep aiming after its range. But if it's already fired, it'll keep following it. The other thing is that auto cover prioritizes going into cover over keeping that missile going, which is just stupid. I should really do a guide on it, but just can't. I'd rather just say the same thing 50 million times in every single game than make a dedicated video and only have to do it once. But obviously not everybody watches the videos. You get people who watch the video. Not everybody watches every video, right? Because obviously you guys have lives and stuff. I'm being polite here, I know that's not the case, but... Anyway, yeah, like, what's the plan here, right? Just get them in the building so they don't just sit there and die, and come take Boris. Get yourself on that +3. There's no point going here, this is where the spawn is, they're just going to keep reinforcing that. The other thing is he could do with reinforcing over here. I suppose he has since we last checked. Right, there's a grenade launcher, there's, you know... This could be in this building, really. But, yeah. So that didn't drop its bombs. For whatever reason... Oh, right, he must have moved it at the last minute. You can see that because of this. So it's going to get shot in the back now. But it's got a lot of sidearm. It's got 9 sidearm, the highest in the game. More than a TAE UD thing, I believe. Which I think has like 8. This is that was an IS-8, from what I understand. So now you're about to see the power of the Napalm one. Truly inspirational. Pay the same amount for 1,000 kilos of napalm, which doesn't do anything, instead of 1,000 kilos of bomb, which would just immediately kill that. And the helicopter would probably get killed as well, if it's on low altitude. Because the explosion goes up, right? So, yeah, he's still just smacking his head against this wall. Nice big open zone here. Because, yeah, once you take this, then you can, you sort this out, and then you can clear this out, right? And you just cut across again, and then you can take this zone back. Admittedly, like, it's easy to see when you're in this position. When you're fighting in the game, getting over the tunnel vision is very, very, very difficult. I still suffer from it. The tunnel vision. Because you're looking here, and you're like, well, I need more units. You click up here, you click them over here, right? You need the plane, because you're just looking like this, and you click the plane, right? Click over here, and then the plane runs over an AA piece and gets shot, and you're not looking at that. You're looking here. So yeah, I was wondering when this would happen, because like Red can take Ivan back quite. Well, it's the easiest zone for him to take back because it's the closest to his spawn. And it's just a forest quagmire where he can just, like, this should be a more balanced composition. There should be more tanks in here. A couple SD-100s, a bit of AA to obviously deal with this. If you just buy all of one unit, you're just gonna die, right? It's like, this is a bit more balanced. Some infantry, so there you go. He actually did the right thing this time. And he died. This is the big problem with what. So there you go, another napalm thing. If that was regular bombs, at least one of those would be dead. Same price, by the way, same availability. I think it's the same availability. So, yeah, he actually came in this way, and then now there was a Krug here, and it just hit him on the first try. So this is another issue with Warno, is that because of the RNG aspect, the reinforcement isn't there. That makes you learn quickly, right? If the game was fully deterministic, and you did the wrong thing, so when he flies it here, it dies, and he does that twice, for example, and then when he flies it this way, it lives. Although, admittedly, this wasn't here before, so it's not a great example. Then that reinforcement would be there. Do you know what I mean? But I suppose that's how real life works, right? Sometimes you do everything right, and then it doesn't work out anyway. So Warno is realistic in that sense. And sometimes people do the wrong things and they're rewarded for it, right? What can I say? So yeah, needs a couple more tanks over here, right? He doesn't have the T-64R. He doesn't have the tank that would really help him here. And in all aspects in this game. So... So, do you see the explosion, right? See, that's out of the range? That's because it was stationary, so the missile kept going. Whereas if that was on an attack move order, he'd still be alive, so... Worth keeping in mind. And then, yeah, like, so, just get, like, a couple recon in here, and then get you guys over here. Take Boris. He doesn't want to... He can't hear me. He can't hear me, so... We're doomed to watch this for the next 20 minutes. Was that anything? I just heard a Krug get a kill again. At this point, I'd say stop buying the planes. I believe most of the planes are dead now, so I think there might be one or two left. Because, yeah, you would expect Red to take this back. But yeah, Blue just, I mean, this is so... Obviously, I've said it, and we should move on. But this affects me greatly, that he's just right next to this zone. That he's doing it. He's doing it. He's learning. He's growing stronger. So yeah, you can expect Blue to lose this, but he can't see these units yet because they've not attacked him. So another thing you can do, and I know this sounds crazy, is that you can load this guy back in here, and you can just send him over. That's something you also just never see people do. Don't put it there. You got to put it further back. That's where the last one died. It wasn't moving. I think it lost LOS because of the building that it's right next to. I think he flew there and that's why it curved off. Otherwise they miss very narrowly. Right. What is he doing? Well, what can I say? And now it's going to auto-evac this way, and now these are going to engage it. Wow, truly inspirational. So that time he did the complete wrong thing, and the game let him live. don't... No, you need to evac this way. You are flying over the Krugs. They're still reloading, though, so... It gets a shot off. It misses. So... Yeah, I mean, now he is at least... No, he stopped again. And Red's definitely doing something here. The next wave is hitting. Admittedly, you know, these go almost twice the speed on the... Well, not quite. They go a lot faster on the roads, so... So I would have been coming down here, and then into there. Now, you do have to watch out for the clusters. Most of those are dead now. So yeah, this is an he's worried about the bombers, right? And he's probably right to be worried about the bombers. So... Yeah. Just wrong tank for the job. This is anti-infantry. You want the T-64R at 2-vet with the CV, making it 3-vet. I am doomed to scream into the void, for the game is a replay, and what has happened has already happened. Truly, this is a metaphor for life. That is not worth it whatsoever. This is a 100-point tank that you're about to kill. Wow, yeah. Would have been surprised if this made it out. Then again, Zsadok, you know, 22 minutes in, still no OSAs, so it's entirely reliant on the planes. There you go, he takes the zone. What? Did that hit anything? These suck, by the way. They don't do any damage to infantry, to vehicles. It's only anti-infantry, and it costs loads. It just costs like basically the same amount. So you don't want that. And there's the Krug. He kept that around for a while. I mean, admittedly, that's the fighter, but yeah, you literally want to put them out here because the Krugs have 6,000 meters range, which is, you know, it's a lot. It's the biggest in the game for a ground-based system. Truly 1989 gameplay here. We got the IS-8s going up against the T-34s. Wow, Eugen, more slop, please. So yes, these do have side missiles on them. And, yeah, Red, you know, he needs to conga line down here and turn this way. It's interesting, he tried to get one in the back there. It did miss. Oh, there's a... Wow, there's a Strela. That actually hit something with its 2,000 meters anti-air range. He could have evac that a little faster, but that shot still would have got off. So... wouldn't have made a difference. Yeah, the propensity to just use planes and just gamble over and over again is... I mean, obviously this hasn't been resupplied, and... you know, neither's this, because the supply ran out. He doesn't know this hasn't been resupplied. And, like, this also hasn't been resupplied, so... yeah. Should just be buying more ground stuff, really. Alternatively, he has Malkas. He could buy a Malka and hit the Krugs, which just aren't moving. But it's working out, he's on a +2. So this got neutralized, right? That's why it's not a +3. And the T-10Ms are killing the SD-100s. This is the, it's not that one. This is like a... it's like a Flak 88. Obviously it's a different... it's a newer, right? It's bigger. But it can shoot at both ground and air targets, and with its 130mm gun, it fires at a whopping 24 rounds a minute. So these two guys are... yeah. Not sure how that fires so fast, but there it is. That's not a great place to put it. Okay, that's very... it's truly... I mean, that's the enemy reinforcement road, so going down there, probably not going to work out. Yes. Right, at least he's using this road now as opposed to coming up here where he keeps getting side shot. He's got the recon helo, which is good as well. As you can see. Can't remember if the 303 Czech player has a recon helo or if he even gets them. So, very much a reservist trash spam meme div, this one. I mean, when these big expansion packs come out, there's just some divs that are just bad, and they just kind of stay bad forever. So this was Southag, they released 3 Czech divs, and this was obviously the worst one. 17Y, I think, was a Nemesis. Is that right? No, it wasn't. 157Y was a Nemesis. 17Y was also part of Southag, I think. I'm entirely sure on that. I think it was. So, will there be a CV sent over here? I suppose that's what this is. Slowly getting there. These guys don't have AT, so we've got to be careful. SD-100. I think some more World War II equipment, right? That's a Hetzer or something. A Ferdinand. I don't know, I think it's slightly newer, but it's definitely based on a World War II idea. Sort of tank destroyer thing. It's a 100mm gun, so. And it's got mediocre stealth, that's the point of this, so it's more of a defensive tool. The T-54B is more of an offensive tool. Because it's got the turret. This is nice against infantry because of the 3 machine guns. It's terrible against armor because of the heat with only 14 pen. But this div gets heat with 17 pen, which is the only good heat in the game. But he doesn't know. He didn't know, so he didn't bring it. So there you go. Zone secured. The red player determined to make us all as miserable as he is by keeping us in this game. Admittedly, he's actually buying the real units now. Streltsy, pretty decent against these T10Ms because of the actually good RPG. These only have 14. Not so effective against something like this, as you can see. It's like 2 front armor damage there. The one on the SD-100 before was the side shot. So they got 4 side armor. He must have unloaded in the wrong place, right? Or whatever, because why isn't he... Oh, he's just on a move order, so he's not actually... What? It must be because it's on defect, because that should have shot, and it would have been a side shot. It wouldn't have one-shot it, but it really would have messed it up. See, so because they've got no veterancy, and they're reservists, they just immediately go to 0 cohesion. And then you just keep hitting it until it dies. So, that's how it's done. Okay, you missed. But the point is, you've got multiple Streltsies, so they should all be shooting at once. Slight overkill there. So, Zsadok's still on that +1. More crap coming. This actually has a decent rate of fire. So... Oh. So yeah, reversing is a good idea, right? Just reverse until you get to, there, and then you can only engage one of them. So you're about to see how much this does to armor, right? That's why you don't bring it. Because these are thermobaric bombs, they do literally nothing to armor. It's a good spot. You get the guys as they come round. But there's nobody else in here. So now he's just buying CVs, apparently. Must have ran out of T10Ms. Got the 4 CV purchase in a row strat. Yeah, I mean, it's just... Everything goes so slow in this game, right? These are not fast. And neither are these, so... so that there's a lot of waiting for things to happen. More napalm, right? Hopefully he's learnt his lesson now. It's crazy that there's a plane that costs the same amount, I believe has the same availability. I know I just did the deck review. Wow, wow, truly incredible. And it's got regular bombs instead of napalm, it's just way better. And yeah, Boris was reclaimed due to lack of infantry purchases. So yeah, the ISU, you just lose too much momentum. The whole point of the div is flying columns. Same with this one, actually, except the flying columns are a lot cheaper, but a lot less effective. So, yeah, I mean, there's a guy near the top of the ladder who only plays 17Y. Thus proving that it is possible. Although he could probably do that with any div, given his skill level. And his number of games as just playing one div, right? You tend to get quite good. You tend to be able to... just gives you a huge advantage just playing one div over and over because you know all the matchups and you don't really have to think. So you can reserve your thinking for other things. The whole idea is, you know, I call it muscle memory. I suppose it's not really... because, you know, you're not doing weights or something, right? You're not running, doing a marathon. But the idea is you've got your subconscious thoughts and your conscious thoughts, and the more you play the game, the more of the game is handled by your subconscious thoughts because you've done it before. You know what to do. You don't have to actively think about that. Whereas the first time you play the game, you don't know anything, and so you have to actively think about every single thing because you've not done it before. And you know your brain's only got so much bandwidth, and that's just the same with literally everything in life. The more you practice, the better you get. You know, unless you're disabled or whatever, which we won't make jokes about. And yes, the more you play, the more if you've seen something before, you don't get surprised by it, right? It's like that guy that just goes around heli rushing everybody with a picture of me as a monkey as his profile picture, right? Hippie idiot. First time you play against it, you might lose. The first time I played against him, I didn't lose, and it's not because, oh wow, you're so incredible, Hippie. No, it's because 4 years ago, heli rushing with 80 seconds used to A, be a lot stronger, and B, be a lot more popular. So I have faced that heli rush before, just not from him. And so I know how to react. I've faced it more times than, you know, like the master has failed more times than you have tried, right? And then it just comes down to the cost-benefit analysis. So as you can see, if you get enough of them, they can beat someone stronger, but what he should have done there is smoked and retreated, right? And lived to fight another day. And he needs a bit more infantry in here, a few more Reservisti. So, yeah, I mean, if that thing gets a hit, it's pretty good, right? I mean, it did a lot of damage there. It did like 4 damage. I mean, it got a crit. Otherwise, I think it would have been, you know, closer to 3, but... No, okay, so that was 2 without crit. I mean, yeah, it was 3 each, okay. Wow, this must be why he max vets them. So that 25% accuracy can hit 3 times in a row. Admittedly, if it misses just a little bit, it'll probably still do the damage, because it's, you know, it's an explosion, so... So, yeah, you gotta basically get the infantry and put them behind buildings and stuff. But Zadok's issue is that his infantry AT isn't very good. And now he's, you know, he's like, oh yeah, I need infantry, right? After buying 4 CV tanks in a row. So his opponent is now winning. And he's actually bringing out his best tank, the T-72M-E2, with no smoke on it, for 155 points. But it outranges all of Zadok's tanks. But it has no smoke, and it will die in 1 hit to this missile. And there it goes. But he's just resorted to never resupplying the Krugs and just having the supply next to them empty, or in this case full, but not close enough to resupply it. Thankfully, his opponent obliges him by just flying his empty plane as close to the enemy as possible. We do have some Osas out, though. So there you go, it lives to fight it. We won't see it again, though, because it'll take so long to repair that the game will end. There's only 5 minutes left. Yes, watching 2 dinosaurs in a slugging match. I've never seen this matchup before. You would really expect the 17Y player to win, but he's missed a major trick with his division, so he doesn't know about the T-70, T-64Rs. They're heat now. And, you know, I never made a video summarizing the biggest changes from the patch, so that, you know, so I'm at least partially to blame there, because that was probably the biggest change, apart from the two new divisions, of course. The T64R change. It's interesting. This wouldn't be a very deep lake. Or they just float. But yeah, it looks like Red just can't do it, right? He's on a +1, and he needs to be on like a +4 or something to get this done. So, looks like Blue's going to clinch it. I mean, yeah, he's got a lot of units in the open, not really doing anything. Right, there's now a bunch of Reservisti in here. The tanks are probably just going to come in and die. They might make some ground, actually. So yeah, if you'll forgive me, I'll just speed it up a bit, because the game is over. It just doesn't want to surrender. So yeah, I'm going to assume that planes will get these, although he's fast moving them, so... But yeah, you see that... So that must have been a sideshow, right? I assume a plane's going to kill these. Like, he is moving in, but he just doesn't have time. This is like some sort of World War II half-track. So... It's actually quite fast. But Zsadok took this back. So it's only going to be a +1 again. And it's just not enough. It's just not enough. And yeah, that'll be a +3. There's just not enough time. Not enough time. And like, you know, this could just go in there, but he's put it on an attack move. He's realised his mistake. Yeah, like, you know, you want him, like, behind the buildings and stuff, but he did end up getting that, so it's all good. Resecured this, and yeah, the time runs out. So, yeah, it was an interesting matchup. T64Rs, though, playing without the T64Rs is rough. We've got Zsadok here, 58 ranked games this season. We've got Azimut, 87 ranked games this season, so there's actually pretty similar ranks, though. So, yeah, interesting. Do let me know what you think. I've never seen that matchup before. It kind of went sort of the way I expected, but with the town being there, I suppose 303 gets a bit of an advantage because, you know, it's got the big infantry squads and so on. Yeah, I think it was winnable for both players. It was just like the micro, like the Krugs could have been moved up closer for red and so on. And Blue could have won a lot faster by just shifting right and taking Boris, instead of just basically attacking the enemy spawn, which is usually not a good idea because he spawns there. Yeah, do let me know what you think. I'll see you in the next one. GG.